Well, good afternoon, everybody. Josh Askvig, State Director with AARP North Dakota, and with me is Mark Hansen. Mark, you want to tell the viewers a little bit about who you are with MDU?
Sure, thanks, Josh. Yeah, Mark Hansen with Montana Dakota Utilities, do public relations there and some media relations. So just happy to be here to talk about some ways customers can cut down on their bill this winter.
Hey, Mark, we really appreciate you doing this. Most people are used to us maybe taking a few jabs at each other. So this is a fun thing to do and be able to talk. You know, Mark, we reached out to each other about a month ago and started formulating. We saw what's coming with high natural gas prices this winter and knew educating consumers about what's coming, why it's happening, and what they can do to potentially offset or mitigate those increases would be really important. And so we appreciate you doing that. Today we're going to just talk a little bit about what's happening, why it's happening. This is the first of a four-part series. The other three, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this presentation or this discussion, will cover specific things consumers can do to mitigate it. But this is just an opportunity for MDU and AARP to collaborate and talk about that. So, Mark, let's just start with the broad view. Can you talk a little bit about how much the price of natural gas is expected to go up since the last heating season, maybe a little bit about why it's happening and what the potential impact is going to potentially be on consumers' bills?
Yeah, a lot of people may have heard a number in the neighborhood of 50% increase over last year's prices. That's kind of been a number that's been out there nationally as well as locally. And Montana Dakota is right around in that same neighborhood, about 50% higher than last year. The biggest reason, just the simplest way to say it, demand is outweighing supply. As we came out of the pandemic, as people probably have heard, time and again about the supply chain issues, that demand and supply hit a lot of things because we came out of the pandemic in a lot of ways across the economy much stronger than a lot of people anticipated. And so the production of natural gas did not ramp up as quickly. And so that's what we're seeing going into this winter heating season.
That's great, Mark. Can you just talk a little bit there's multiple parts to a utility bill, but the part we're talking about is just a pass-through cost for you, correct? I mean, if you're paying $1 for natural gas, that's what the consumer gets billed. Can you maybe just make sure folks understand that piece as well?
Correct. Yeah, there's two main parts of the bill, and one is how they get their gas, through the pipes and the meter and the employees, and that's part of what's regulated by our utility commissions. The cost of gas, which also goes through our commissions, but that is, like you say, a straight pass-through, and that can be up to 70% of a customer's bill. So there is ways that they can have a little control over how much that bill is going to be, since it's such a big part of it. Even though prices are going up, there's some ways that customers can mitigate that a little bit to try to at least tamping down that price increase.
Yeah, and Mark, I mean, the good news is it looks like, and Janelle just popped on the screen, and I think in the chat that where folks can learn more, you have a pretty good explainer on your website there about what's happening to do that. But it looks like November so far has started off with okay temperatures, which is probably helping things out. But looks like, at least if we look at the forecast, might change here pretty quick. Anything else consumers need to be aware about what's causing the cause of the natural gas price spike?
So when we both talked about that, it's a straight pass through. So with that in mind, Montana Dakota still goes through a real robust process to try to secure the lowest cost gas it can. We have some gas in storage we got during the summer at a much lower price. We have some fixed contracts at a lower price. And so we also buy in the open market. But what that allows us, if prices do drop at any time, we can go to the market and buy that at that lower price. And then if we have kind of a bigger spike, we can go to our other options like our fixed contracts, our supply that's in storage. But aside from this base we're talking about, the biggest factor through all winter will be the weather. You get that cold snap, obviously you use more natural gas. November's been off to a great start in that regard, where it's been warmer than average, so customers probably are not using as much. And ironically, what often happens is like the northeast part of the country where it's very population dense. If you get a cold snap up there, it affects the market across the country because there's so much demand being used. Just saw one of, there's so many forecasts out there, but saw one earlier today for the rest of November. That northeast part of the country is supposed to be warmer than average. So that will, be helpful in that big picture of gas supply.
Awesome. Well, again, Mark, thanks to you, and thanks for everyone tuning in. This is, as I mentioned earlier, the first of 4 that we're going to do. The other 3 are the next 3 Tuesdays. We're going to do 2 o'clock every Tuesday right here on Facebook Live. It also streaming to our YouTube page, and then I also believe MDU is putting it on their website as well, or will afterwards, if not. The next one is going to be November 16th on balance billing. Then November 23rd, we're going to talk about LIHEAP, and we'll explain what LIHEAP is at that time. And then the last one, we're going to talk about some winterization tips. Mark, if folks want to get a jump start on maybe setting up balance billing or learning more about LIHEAP and they don't want to wait for the upcoming events, is there someone individuals can reach out to at MDU to help them get started on that?
You bet. On our website, we have a lot of information about the balance billing program that we operate. And then we also, our customer service reps can direct customers to the different agencies that can provide that assistance, like LIHEAP. So we try to help, make that process as easy as possible for them and get them in touch with the right people.
Awesome. And I see Janelle pop those numbers on the screen again, the toll-free number, as well as your website where they can do that. In addition, if you forget, you can always visit the AARP North Dakota website. We also have a resource page on our page, so that links to MDU's different resources as well as other tips and tools as well to do this. Mark, any last comments before we get out of here?
No, you said it at the top, and I'll say it again now. It's great to collaborate with AARP North Dakota on this to try to get information out to our customers, your members, on how they can mitigate these higher costs that are anticipated for this heating season.
Well, Mark, thank you again. Look forward to talking to you again next week. And as a reminder, we'll be back next week, November 16th, 2 o'clock, and we're going to specifically talk about balance billing at that time and how to sign up for it. So we will see you then.
Thank you.